I'd like to say, first of all, thank you for the wonderful performance and all the effort that was put into it. It really is an amazing, of course, theatrical, but thus not real, but an anthropological study into the expectations of what it is to be a man and a woman with men, I guess, today. I will try to keep my part short so we have as much time as we can for the audience questions and comments, but perhaps another comment before the questions. It was also a great enjoyment to see a performance like this with so many male dancers, not something which is the custom, and especially the way you performed. Unfortunately, our heteronormative society doesn't usually allow us pure enjoyment of masculinity as beautiful on stage. So this was a rare occasion. First, maybe a question, something which was already mentioned in these talks, and this is the specifics of this project, collaboration between 5, if I'm not mistaken, European countries, 8. So almost all the performers from different countries. So maybe to start out with that, something which is also not very typical for such a big ensemble performance. Yeah, maybe to start out with this question. The specifics of working in such a project constructed with people from so many different places.
That has been fantastic, you can say. What has been very special is that we have people from Aaron, they're from Hungary, and Petrus from Lithuania, Mr. Latsi from Hungary, Mr. Mikołaj from Poland, Aurelius from Poland, Tomek from Poland, that was Polish, the group, and Mr. Thomas from Slovakia, Dorte from Denmark, Bill from DK/Scotland, and I'm also Danish. And what has been absolutely fantastic, wonderful, is that because we are from all over, we had to meet somewhere. And instead of being at home, where you have to go maybe picking up the kids in the school or whatever, cleaning up or whatever people are doing, we had to be, most of us, away from home. And that meant that we could work 24 hours a day. I like that. And not only working for a long time, but also being concentrated on what we are supposed to do. So the production is done in a very short time. I don't remember. 8 weeks, is that true? 8 weeks. 5 weeks in Aarhus and 3 weeks in Ljubljana. So, yeah, fantastic.
Of course, this is a continuation of almost, more than a decade or 2 decades now starting of involvement into Granhoj dance's study of what is masculine in contemporary choreography. So a question about that, I mean, how much further it went with this project, and especially I'm interested in the connection to the Two Men, Two Maler project which preceded it.
23 years ago, I started with men dancing for 3 weeks, 3 years, and so it was men dancing all over. I did not know what else to do, and then after the 20 years anniversary, I thought it was time to go back to that theme, and then I did the piece Two Men, Two Maler. And because of this very short-term project, it was an opportunity to continue that research on the Two Men, Two Maler, so it became Men and Maler with a much bigger group. So it was just a coincidence, and at the same time a privilege to go further into whatever masculinity is. I still do not know.
I'd like to open the floor for the audience, questions and comments. We can bring the mic down. No? Maybe it's at the end of the day and people are a bit tired, so you'll get another chance, but let me just ask something of the cast. The cast is listed as co-creators of the production, and my question is, perhaps I would like for more than one person to answer how you felt in this role and how the process was.
El tudnád még egyszer mondani a kérdést, mert a litván kolléga nem fogta igazából.
I just didn't get the question, sorry.
How was it for you, this involvement in the process as a co-creator and not just a performer?
Well, there are two types of performers who just wait, like go left, go right, lift up, and just suggesting, kind of, can I go here, can I go here? And that's what's, the greatest joy was that Palle could create the atmosphere of wanting to give, wanting to suggest. And like those mornings were just, hello people, and you kind of already kind of smiling. And we worked in just in a super nice house with lots of windows, and usually it was like lots of sun in. So it was just happy moments, you know, and just coming, giving a task and going away. And it's up to you what you will do. So it's something showing what you can, what you might do, and then you get bored with that, and then in those 5 weeks you kind of finding new you. So it's...
I think since we are all Georges, there was and one beautiful woman, Georgina. There was no really other possibility just to participate and help to create or to propose the material, since we were all different kind of a specimen of the man, or different examples of the man. So if the Palle wanted to get something human out of us, he had to let us a little bit to go and propose the material. Georgina, please.
I think we have a wonderful piece, and I'm happy that you from DNA and the audiences seem to like it, but the best part even, I mean, we enjoy performing it, the best part is the creative process, because Palle has, but the creative process in this one has been especially wonderful because there was all these people, we didn't know each other. And still Palle could create a space where everything was possible. So everybody was throwing things in from day one, and everybody was going weird and wonderful, and things were going more and more strange over the weeks. And then Palle does the choosing of what he wants to use and what he doesn't. But in that period where everybody is chipping things in, everybody is going wild, and every day is a new thing happening. It's just wonderful. So I recommend it.
Can I do a comment on that one?
Of course.
I said before that I still do not know what masculinity is. So that's the reason why Dorte is in the piece. Because she's the, I call it the Facebook dramaturgy. That means that nowadays people do not listen so much to specialists or to critics, or I do, but it's more common to go on Facebook and listen to what your friend says about life and what's good and what's bad. So in this case, it's Dorte, and so she's the Facebook interpreter of what is masculinity. So that's the reason why men do not talk so much. That's the reason why she's talking a lot, and she's also trying to find out what is going on with these men and what are the. I wonder what. I really like to try to be a man just for a few days, like she says in the beginning. So she's coming from outside to look at this masculinity, whatever it is. So that was easy for me to do that decision, then I did not have to decide what masculinity is. So that's the reason why she's in the piece. And she also sings, looks good, and all the other stuff.
Questions or comments?
It's quite a short time for rehearsing, so I just want to ask you if it is the final version or you are going to make something.
Pieces always develops, so hopefully it'll be better.
But you are satisfied with this. You feel it's finished, because usually it's quite the projects are this short time projects like 8 weeks for rehearsal are continuing, and I can see, for example, you have the absolutely different version than from the premiere, so it is similar to your meaning of the project.
In Granhoj we are so privileged that often the pieces performs more than 100 times. So of course there's a development going on. But if I'm satisfied about tonight, I think Aaron could stretch his leg a little bit more. And he was hit by a car yesterday, so he has a big hole in his side. So we had to change a few things before you came. Luckily he's alive, and there's Mr. Aaron on the corner. He is, yeah. I think he can stretch that side a little bit more next time. Otherwise he was doing well, I think, and the rest was doing fantastic, so I'm very happy.
Yes, Marketa.
I'm a little bit curious about the music, which we...
Mahler.
Music. Could we hear each other?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Which we touched already, and there were a lot of parts which when the choreography really followed the gradation of the music, and we could really feel this moment of simultaneously, and then you really use it in another way. So maybe if you can just tell something about it, how you work with the music in choreography.
The music is Mahler, most of the music is from what Dorte is singing is the leader songs with the lyrics of Mr. Rückert, German poet, and the words are absolutely awful, but I cannot change it, but that's obvious that she sings all these leader songs, which I think she does quite fantastic. So in her Facebook way of going into the music, she is putting, maybe she's staging the piece. So it goes through her way of choosing music, and the music coming out of the speakers is mostly from the symphonies. And Mahler's music has been described like the most lonely, the most painful, and the most longing music ever written. So I thought it was a good opportunity to put that against masculinity. So that's definitely an opposition. Is that English, opposition? Yeah. Is that an answer? But I like that music. I have not worked so much with classical music, but Mahler, wow. I would say. And some of the music is live recorded, and some of it is just from, we do not have a symphony orchestra in the company, so it's, from records. I don't know. Am I answering your question? I don't know.
Yeah, in a way, of course, it's very interesting. Maybe if you can generalize, it after the creation, there is maybe some key which you discovered when you were facing Mahler during
you knew all the way that you were going to use the adagietto, because you kind of started from there, didn't you?
But there was also another piece. There was this other piece called Two Men to Mahler, where it was also Mahler music, and that was performed live, where the music was obstructed. Now I'm using the word obstruction because that's the basic idea in the work. Obstruction means that if you have something that's decided, then you have to deconstruct it and find another way to use it. So the music in that piece was obstructed music. That was a flamenco singer singing the leader songs, and one viola player trying to be a whole symphony orchestra. So therefore, this time I would like to try to use this wow music, and yeah. What do you think? It's better to hear what you think. I mean, I have a lot of ways to think about it. I'm not sure I know exactly how to explain it, but did it work for you, that Mahler music?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get the feeling that sometimes really the music and the choreography went in the same direction, and really the movement followed the up and downs of the music and this harmony. But sometimes it was contradictory for me, and there were quite different moments which were both for me. So that's why
I think we have been listening, of course, every day to Mahler music, and the Mahler music has been a great inspiration for, like the guy said, I do not, in a way, I do not do anything. I just make a space for them to create, and they have done everything. I just sit in a corner and look and put on some music, and I don't know, and suddenly something happens. So they are fantastic. So I think the Mahler music has been a great inspiration for them to create. They do all the steps, they do all the ideas. I don't think I've done anything actually than just being there and choosing what could fit in the piece. But that's a privilege to work with people who just wow. Give. It's fantastic.
Can I say one? Because now you said happy Mahler. Because about the music, every day everybody makes a new phrase, and every day I had to sing a new song, and day after day, and it was all about longing and dead children and dying and and so one day I think, well, he has been, Mahler wrote some happy songs too. So I sang one that was going with woohoo! And Palle was looking completely wrong for half an hour. And then he said, I do not like Mahler when he's happy. So those were out who were staying on the longing path. So you were asking if there was a key. There was definitely a key to a door that we were not opening.
That's true.
How was the process of writing the text? How did you write the text?
She does.
Every day the boys made physical material, and every day I sang a song and wrote a text. And just as the boys have made, or the men have made so much material and we only use this much, I have been writing so many words and we only use this much. So it's not like one text came like this. We've been patchworking everything together. But Palle was giving me subjects like, could you talk about impotence? Could you talk about masturbation? And then I was writing something and we were talking, and then we were cutting and copy-pasting. And
she was really doing research.
yes. I tried to talk to the boys. It didn't go too well.
Thanks God we have the internet.
What?
Thanks God we have the internet.
Yes, the internet was very helpful.
Was that your Facebook research then also? When preparing the writing, were you asking people on Facebook?
Actually, I didn't.
Okay.
I can tell this because Palle has been telling it also. When he first called me and said, well, we could do this piece and you could do the talking and then we could do this event. There's going to be a lot about masturbation and you can do some research already now. So I went into the living room and asked my boyfriend, so, is there anything you would like to tell me about masturbation? And then he just looked very weird, and then he said, no. And that's basically been the answer that I've been getting live. So I have had to do the reading on most of the subjects.
But sometimes the task came up. Wait. But I think everybody's hearing me. It's very good acoustic. So, when the task came up, it's something that you're thinking about material and you just kind of see that Dorothy could talk something and just run into the room when she's always kind of in the computer, like playing music and singing something. Dorothy, I will do this and this, and then I'll do something like this. You start talking. What about? I don't know, just start talking. And suddenly, some of the text or themes, they just come up. Like just really jam session, you know, kind of. You get what I mean? And then kind of you get the theme from that and something, and then it develops more and more. Then she do some researches on something that came up from her, and then you do some researches on your material to develop in that way what she was talking about and so on. Something about that. That was really playing.
It is very playful, and I think everything has been made in a very playful way, and I think that's why it works.
But maybe I should very short tell how we work every day, because it's maybe we are a little bit yeah. So every day in the first hour, the people have to create a piece of material. For Dorte's part, it was words and the Mahler's songs. Every day a piece of material. And the boys should create physical material. They were allowed to sing, stand on their head, whatever. And the rest of that day, we work with that material they have created on that day, with all these rules that I have made up with working with this obstruction technique that I have worked with for 20 years. So that means that we have a video camera, and I put on tasks, I put on rules, and tell them, you have to work with your material in these and these circumstances, or a duet, or whatever it is. And the rest of the day, the same, going on, new ideas with the same material. Next day, a totally new day. New material, new stuff, work with that the whole day, putting on video camera. So you can imagine after 8 weeks, 5 weeks, we have so much material created, and then I had to work. So during that period, I make my, you can call it the manuscript, or you can call it whatever, but the creation is that a lot of material is created. Maybe that was necessary for you to hear, because we look like, or sounds like, infrastructure. That we know what we're talking about. So, but that's a very long explanation about this obstruction technique. But it creates things. It's called serendipity in the theoretical world. When I come on a certain day, I have no idea what Dor will bring or what the boys will bring. So I only come with the rules in this theoretical way. That's called obstruction technique. So I create rules, and the whole period of working is for me to create new rules. So for me, it's a kind of theoretical going into research, but the side project is a creation. So the idea is to research in the theory, but every time there's a piece coming out of it. Maybe it's too theoretical, but that's what it's about. So serendipity means we go for one thing, but another thing happened. Your serendipity, if you're not familiar with the word, you know, penicillin is found that this yellow thing Post-it was a mistake, that there was only glue on half of the yellow thing. So, but then they found out it's very brilliant to put it on. Viagra is, first of all, was a medicine for heart thing, and something else happened, and you know, all these mistakes or serendipity. That's the idea. That's the basic idea in this way of working. But I like it very much.
Well, we'd like to keep you for a while, but since it's been a long evening, and I would like to thank you for really an interesting conversation and allow you to get out of your costumes and have your deserved glass of wine or beer, and hopefully we continue the conversation much less formally outside. Thank you very much for the performance. Thank you.
Thank you.